I, female 26, was invited to my sister's 18th birthday a few days ago at a restaurant. My husband didn't come because he said he had a dinner meeting with some clients. This made my family feel let down, especially my sister, who wanted him there, and also, her 18th birthday was a big deal to her, obviously. To my surprise, when I arrived, I noticed that my husband was having his meeting at the same place. His table was right in the corner, and he had about 4 men sitting with him. My parents and the guests saw him as well. I waved for him, but he saw me and ignored me. He obviously was as surprised as I was. My parents asked why he didn't even come to the table to acknowledge them after the cake arrived. I got up and walked up to his table. I stood there and said, "Excuse me." My husband was silent when I asked, after I introduced myself to the clients, if he'd take a few minutes to join the family and me in candle blowing and say happy birthday. But he barely let out a phrase and said, "I don't think so, I'm busy right now." I insisted, saying it'd just take a couple of minutes and that it would mean so much to my sister. He stared at me, then stared awkwardly back at his clients. They said nothing, and he got up after my parents motioned for me to hurry up. He sat with us while my sister blew out the candles and cut the cake. My parents insisted he takes a piece and join us in the selfie, but he got up and walked back to his table looking angry. We didn't talk till we met later at home. He was upset and started scolding me in front of my parents, saying I embarrassed him, made him look unprofessional, and ruined his business meeting. I told him he overreacted since it only took a few minutes and it was my sister's birthday, and my family wanted him to join since he was literally in the same restaurant. He called me ignorant and accused me of tampering with his work, but I responded that ignoring my and my family's presence was unacceptable. We argued, then he started stonewalling me and refusing to talk to me at all. Also, it literally took 5 to 7 minutes. He didn't even eat or drink, he just sat down and watched. So, am I the idiot for asking my husband to join us on my sister's birthday? You and your family deliberately sabotaged his career. I'm a big birthday person, and I'm disgusted by your ignorance and selfishness. Do you have any idea how professional business works? What you did was disrespectful to your husband and his clients, and may have caused him to lose his job, especially if those clients are major ones. How will you behave when your husband interrupts you during your business meeting that you already informed him of and drags you to another table to watch his brother blow the candles out and have a piece of cake? Do you even work at all if you're this clueless? You are the idiot, OP. She probably doesn't work. It's pretty obvious. OP is completely ignorant that she not only potentially lost clients for OP, but his career itself could also now be in jeopardy. Those above him will likely put him under a microscope, looking for any reason to fire him if they don't just fire him for his restaurant BS. Can we all take a moment and be grateful that the important client was not a lone female? Can you imagine the public freakout that OP and her family would have had if they saw him at a business meeting with a woman? You are the idiot. You've never had a professional job, have you? Upon seeing him at the same restaurant, you should have acted like you didn't even know him, since this was a business meeting with clients. You and your family deliberately sabotaged his career. Honestly, I disagree. If I were one of those clients, I wouldn't think it was a setup, but I would think it was extremely weird that he didn't acknowledge the wife until that point. Imagine you were at a dinner with someone and they just silently ignored their wife who came over. I would think that they were an absolute weirdo, and I wouldn't want to work with them again in the future. Clients are humans. They're not business robots. The whole thing could have been avoided by him going, "Oh wow, my wife is here to celebrate her sister's birthday. I didn't realize it was the same place. I'm just going to go over and say hello." Then the meal would be interrupted for 2 minutes. He could head off any further interruptions, and they could carry on. No bigger interruption than someone using the bathroom. The wife shouldn't have pushed it once it became clear he couldn't talk, but the husband acted very oddly. I, 32 female, am expecting my first child with my husband Paul, 36. We've been married for 2 years. This is the only issue we're having right now. I'm currently 10 weeks pregnant, and my biggest pregnancy issue is fatigue, cravings, and hunger. No matter what I do, I cannot seem to stay full. I eat all day but have managed to lose 3 pounds still. The problem is we don't always have what I want. So a few times a week, I stop at the store on my way home from work and stock up on my favorite snacks: pizza, pickles, fruit, especially oranges, grapes, and watermelon, popcorn, chicken noodle soup, string cheese, etc. I've been doing this for maybe about 5 weeks, but every time I check the fridge, almost all my snacks are gone. I keep telling Paul to stop eating my food, and he says that it's not a big deal and I can just get more. But then that involves me, not him, stopping at the store more and more. Me again, not him, spending more of my money. Last week, I just snapped. I bought my favorite ice cream, Neapolitan. I put it in the freezer and decided to nap before writing a paper. I'm currently getting my master's. I planned to have a bowl when I woke up and began working on it. When I woke up, I went to the freezer and saw it had been opened. Now, I can't eat an entire quart of ice cream all by myself, so I wasn't mad that he had some until I saw what he did to it. My husband ate all of the strawberry side and left me with just the vanilla and chocolate, and the strawberry's my favorite part. I got mad and started yelling at him. He told me it was unreasonable of me to bring food into the house and expect him not to have any of it. But I told him that wasn't what I expected, but he knew that was my favorite ice cream and that my favorite part of it was all gone, and he always eats my snacks. He just told me to run to the store and get some more. So I went back upstairs because he wasn't listening. I opened my laptop and ordered a full-size fridge, $2,300, paid for from my personal savings account that he has never contributed to. My husband and I don't mingle our accounts, so he never saw I bought it until 2 days ago when it was delivered to our house. He came home from work and saw it in our garage, plugged in. He asked why there were locks on it and how much it cost. I told him not to worry about how much it cost, and that there were locks on it to make sure he didn't eat all of my snacks for my cravings. He said I couldn't control what he eats, and I told him I'm not. I'm just controlling who eats my snacks, but the fridge in the house is open, and he can have whatever's in there and the cabinets, but the fridge in the garage is for me only. I haven't had to go to the store all this weekend, and my food is locked up, but Paul is not speaking to me for 2 reasons: for making a large purchase without talking to him first, and for turning food into a war, his words. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot for getting a refrigerator. You have every right to be annoyed and frustrated that he has no respect for you concerning food. What bothers me is that he yells to you to go out and buy more after eating your food. That is some nerve. Why doesn't he go out himself and replace the food he took? He sounds extraordinarily selfish. Unless he's willing to have some couples counseling, I'm afraid he'll keep behaving this way, even after the baby arrives. After doing it so many times, he's doing it on purpose. He's probably worried she'll get fat or some crap like that. OP, the fridge is just a band-aid solution to a larger issue. He's not respecting you. You shouldn't need to lock your partner out of the fridge. He should just be respecting you. The fridge doesn't solve the issue. Yeah, it doesn't even really matter that she's pregnant. She bought the food and he's eating it and not paying for it or replacing it. I have a hard time believing that this is the only selfish, inconsiderate thing this guy does in this relationship. Shame you have a child with this person already, though. It'll make the inevitable divorce messier. My daughter just turned 40. She was not married but had a boyfriend, and the relationship resulted in 2 children, a daughter, now a pre-tween, and a son who's a kindergartner. Her boyfriend left because of her hot-headed behavior, what he claims. He doesn't visit or contact the children. I called to wish her a happy birthday. She sounded aggravated on the phone. When I asked why, she began yelling about how thoughtless her children were. She told me they hadn't bought her a gift or wished her a happy birthday because they didn't know. She was very much upset with them and grounded them. I told her at that age they don't remember dates, and what did she expect? For them to hitchhike to the store and panhandle until they got enough money for a gift? She started screaming her daughter should know dates like this by now, and they're just so lazy. I said to my daughter she was being absolutely insane, and they were only kids. The call ended with her now yelling at me and hanging up. I later discussed it with my husband, daughter's stepfather, who defended her, saying that she was a single mom who felt alone today and that we needed to cut her some slack. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Her behavior has me concerned. She may take her frustration out for her unrealistic expectations on her kids. It might be emotional abuse, especially if they're within earshot to hear her call them lazy and thoughtless. Plus, yelling at you over the phone for pointing out how crazy her expectation is, that she thinks little kids would somehow remember and be able to afford to buy her a gift. As you pointed out, they're growing up in a single-parent household with no contact from their father. So who exactly is supposed to give them money and take them to the store? These children need a new guardian. In the nicest way possible, she sounds like a bad mom. Where exactly are they supposed to go to get the money to buy her a gift? Based on her attitude, I also bet if the kids made her a homemade gift, she wouldn't have appreciated it. Why, oh why, would my struggling single-parent daughter, who lives 3 hours away from me, is alone on her 40th birthday, and has no support network, so burnt out and stressed? You are the idiot, OP. Your husband is right. She's probably very stressed raising 2 kids alone, and you didn't even bother to visit her on her birthday. Why didn't you help the kids remember and get her a gift? I imagine she's actually mad at you. I am more concerned about what steps you're planning to take to relieve your daughter of some of the stress and ensure your grandkids' well-being. Agree. I think OP is the idiot because she could help out and take some of the load off for her daughter's birthday, but she would rather call her crazy and leave her grandkids with a possibly unstable person. OP, if you think your daughter and your granddaughter are having issues, instead of complaining online, step up and help. My brother was married to my best friend, Elle, for a decade. They had 2 children together, Milo, who's a preteen, and Piper, who's a year younger. Elle was diagnosed with cancer 3 years ago and passed away almost a year later. Brother met Danny after a few months and began dating her soon after. He and Elle's family had a big falling out because he told them that he was hoping Danny would take their mom's place and that they would embrace her as their new mom, and he wanted Elle's family to take a back seat so that could happen. They asked how he could erase Elle, and he told them that she was dead, and he and the kids weren't, and he didn't want them holding a candle for their dead mother for the rest of their lives, while they could have a living one. When they told him they loved the kids too much to disappear, he told them he could maybe arrange a phone call every Christmas. They decided to take him to court and were granted grandparents' visitation, as the judge saw it in the kids' best interest so that they would maintain a relationship they already had with their deceased mother's family. My brother and I also had a strange relationship because he also tried to get me to erase Elle. On to Danny. She and my brother married a few months ago, and she hates Elle's family. She's accused them of caring more about themselves and Elle than the kids because they denied them a whole family. She visibly shows annoyance when the kids mention Elle. She blamed me when the kids told her they wouldn't call her mom. She and my brother asked if they would, and the kids weren't interested. She was also unhappy that they spent Mother's Day with Elle's family and not her, and even told the kids. Not too long ago, she confronted me and said my contact with Elle's family sends the kids the wrong message, and that I clearly have a favorite sister-in-law, which isn't fair. I told her Elle had been my best friend since we were 4. Her family and I are close, and of course we remained close when she married my brother. Danny told me I needed to stop seeing them or else. She told me she's tired of being second best and not being chosen by the kids. She said they don't even try to let her in. We argued and I told her that being jealous and controlling would always make her second best, unless she learned to embrace that she did come after Elle in our lives. She lost it, and my brother told me my loyalty should be with him and Danny over Elle's family. He also told me I was insensitive to Danny. Am I the idiot? This woman sounds like a cartoon villain. Did your brother marry Meredith Blake from The Parent Trap? Not the idiot. It's giving I've moved on, and the fact that my kids won't also totally erase dead wife from their lives is pretty inconvenient for me, to be honest. Like, who the actual heck says things like, he wants the new girlfriend to replace their mother, he doesn't want the dead's wife family to see the kids, and he doesn't want the kids holding a candle for a dead mother when they could have a living one? Disgusting. Except he hasn't moved on. He's in denial big time and will bleed through the Danny-shaped Band-Aid he's hastily thrown over his grief. I read many of these posts where a step-parent is shoved down a kid's throat when a parent has died. They'll end up losing their kids over this due to resentment. The best thing you can do is be there for the kids, as they have to deal with this crap on top of the loss of their mom. Or maybe he moved on before. Danny isn't the biggest idiot here though, your brother is. All he and Danny are doing is guaranteeing that as soon as his kids are old enough to move out, they'll never see them again. I'm sorry for your loss. And those kids, those poor kids. My mom is a difficult person sometimes. She will not talk about feelings or admit she has them, and then she's super sensitive to rejection. Oh, and she and my wife don't really like each other, so that's a fun bonus. Years ago when my mom was single, and for context, she hates being single, but doesn't click with people often, but it was still a huge insecurity. She took my then girlfriend and me on a trip. It was a really nice trip, but she seemed to expect us to do everything together the whole time, and we wanted a little couple time. When we got home, my girlfriend, now wife, mentioned that she wouldn't want to travel that long with my mom again because she expected too much of our time. That got back to my mom and obviously hurt her feelings. My wife told my cousin, who I trust, and I believe either my aunt or her golden snitch child overheard. My mom said she would never travel with us again and took that very seriously. She's now remarried, and my sisters are always invited on ski trips. We are never invited. She claims it's because it's his house and he doesn't like me, but I don't buy that. She wouldn't even hang out with us when we were both out of town for the same wedding. My sister claims we humiliated her, and I don't understand. Well, I recently found out that my mom and her husband are taking my sisters and their partners to Greece. I wrongly assumed I would be included. My mom's husband heard and said he wasn't sure, but I needed to clarify with my mom as he doesn't think she wants me there. I talked to my mom and she said we weren't invited. She never wants to travel with me or my witch wife again. So I blew up and screamed at her that she needed to grow the heck up. She shouldn't even have had children if she's this petty and immature. My mom said that I was an adult and not entitled to a free trip. I continued to yell at her and said she couldn't keep favoring my sisters if she wanted a relationship, and she didn't deserve money because she used it as a weapon. She told me to go cry to my in-laws, as they like to kiss my wife's butt, but she will never travel with us again, and I should respect her decision. She called me manipulative and accused me of guilt-tripping her. You are the idiot. She paid for a vacation for the three of you, yet you and your wife complained that she wanted to spend time with you? Have you never heard "don't look a gift horse in the mouth"? She told you she would no longer travel with you, and is likely waiting for a lengthy apology. Oh, and telling your mother to grow up was childish. Most of us have never been on a real vacation. Your entire post is that your mom won't fund one for you. You grow up. Get your head out of your butt, please. Your wife seems insufferable. She demanded too much of our time? What? When you travel with people, you'll spend time with them doing activities, talking, etc. And now you demand to be invited on a trip with her? The audacity. Please leave your poor mom alone. If she doesn't want to travel with you, that's that. Grow up, please. This is embarrassing.